So today we got a really fun project. This is a 2024 iForce Max Platinum Tundra. The customer needed to have tow mirrors, and we tried to spec it that way through Toyota. We tried a lot of different methods to get Toyota to add that, and due to supply constraints or whatever, it was not possible. So we decided to go ahead and just add the tow mirrors ourselves. There's been a lot of forums and threads that I've read that people have thought that maybe it would work, but nobody's actually ever tried it. So we decided we'd go ahead and try it ourselves. So as you can see on this side of the truck, on the passenger, we have the actual mirror that comes with the vehicle. It's got a color matched cap on the back of it. Of course, it folds in because it's a Platinum model. So we'll go to the driver's side, and we have the side that we've installed the tow mirror on. This tow mirror is all black. There's not a color matched finish option on this package. This requires a couple, it's not just unbolting and rebolting the mirrors. There's a little bit more to it than that. First of all, there is a couple more options. So not only do these still fold in, but they also retract in and out, and they also have a floodlight that's built into it. So if you have a Platinum Tundra and you're wondering what those two blanks are to the left of the steering wheel, that is just because there is a floodlight button and there's a retraction button. That's what that's actually used for. So in order to make this project work, again, I mentioned you have to replace the whole mirror. It does come in one assembly, so this is something that already comes pre-assembled, which is great. But to make it work, you actually do need to replace the wiring harness. And again, if anyone has interest in doing this, we will actually list the part numbers in the comments section of this video, and a link to buy them on our website. So it is basically the big difference between the two harnesses is the gender connection of where it plugs in. One of them is a male and one of them is a female. And what makes it a tricky installation is the door actually has to be completely removed, because this grommet right here does not fit through the door. It fits through the cab only. So the door has to be removed to make this work. And then that harness will be replaced with a new harness right here. This is for the passenger side, and we'll do that one, and we'll show you that one here in a moment. And let's go ahead and cut over and take a look at the inside. Okay, now that we're back inside the vehicle, on a Platinum that does not have factory tow mirrors, to the left of the steering wheel, you're gonna have two additional blanks. Those blanks are there specifically for the tow mirror options. One of them is gonna be the retraction, so that you can expand or contract the mirrors. And then the other one is the floodlight that's located right here in the on the side of the mirror.
Okay, so this car originally had standard mirrors, non-tow mirrors without the non-tow package. So we took it upon ourselves and swapped over all the cording parts, the mirrors, the harnesses, all that was needed to make the car recognize the mirrors. Then after that, we have our panoramic view, which shows a top view of the car, and it's made up of 4 cameras. The front camera, side camera, and then the rear camera. All of those are joined together to create a bird's eye view of the camera to help with parking or whatever you're doing. So anytime you change the camera, change any part that has a camera on it, you have to recalibrate it. So that's what we're gonna go through right now. So first step is we had to connect our factory scan tool to the vehicle, and then we have to go into diagnostic mode. And once that loads, we'll go through and it'll turn the radio into diagnostic mode just like that. So now through here, we navigate through our menu, which isn't all too intuitive, so it takes a while to figure out, and then we have to go to view adjustment. Press and hold and click through the menu, and now we have to close the door so we can see the full camera view. Now we can see our camera view. So if you look, we have our lines here. That should all be square. So it should be like as if you were looking up from the top of the car. So this side is a little bit off. So let's make an adjustment there. So we'll click over to right to select that right mirror over there. And then we'll keep playing with this adjustment until we get there. It doesn't always make sense the way the adjustments work, but you just have to mess with it until it gets there. So we'll see what each of these does. Looks like we need to zoom in a little bit more to get this yellow out of the frame. So let's keep going. And you just find a combination that gets your lines real good. Like, see, that messed up the line down there. So we're gonna go back. And let's keep going this way. We're getting some good progress. until that yellow's out of frame and all of our lines line up. So it's almost there. I'm just trying to get that top in place. We're almost there. Now, if you see all of our lines are lining up, we have our box and our corners up here and our corners down here. Now you just saw how long it took me to do that small, minute adjustment. When this vehicle was presented to me in the shop, the cameras were completely 180 degrees out. So instead of showing the floor, the car was right here. And then instead of showing the floor, the car was right here as well. So it was completely backwards, so we had to fix it. So these measurements top out at about 180 per each. So then once you're done with it, you have to click OK. And then it writes the data. Whenever it's ready. Now it's been completed. So here's where the confusing part comes in, is normally you can only adjust it 180 clicks per. So if I were to go back in here into view adjustment, it should show the adjustment's already been done. So in order to get those numbers to reset and to get more adjustment, say we don't need it for this case, but for with the mirrors we did. So you have to go ahead and click OK and get out of the screen. And then we're going to go ahead and turn the vehicle off, open a door so it goes a full key cycle, close it, turn our vehicle back on. You can key it on or turn it on, either way, fine. And then I'll go into my tech stream here, or my GTS now as it's called. I'll go into radio and then go into diagnostic mode and wait for this radio to boot up, and it's booted up, so we're going to go ahead and put it in diagnostic mode. Click next, and then that just changed. So now if we go back to our camera setting, view adjustment, this is also grayed out, but if you press and hold on it, it works. And if we go back to our adjustments, they've reset. And now the camera view stayed the same of where we adjusted, but we have more adjustment that's available. So that's how it did it. It was about 40 minutes of just adjustment and reset and adjustment and reset until we finally got it where we wanted. And even then, we had to adjust it a little bit more. So if you see these green guidelines around the vehicle, as demonstrated in another video, we demonstrated how we calibrate the camera based on guidelines on the ground. We drew up a quick little mock-up for this. This is not exact, and this is not the exact procedure per Toyota. If you were to do the exact procedure, there's a lot of calculations involving getting the center point of a vehicle and getting the center line, and then getting the datum points of the rear axle, and so on and so on. It's a lot of work, and it's several pages of procedures and measurements and angles. It's a lot. So for this, we've already done that in the shop. That's already been done. So this was just for explanation purposes, but you can see these lines over here, and they have to be very exact, so each camera will pick it up individually. So then when you calibrate, all of your cameras will work together, and you can be able to have a good reference point to see where everything's calibrated and everything meets.
Now that we have the project complete, we know that you can retain all the OEM characteristics for a factory tow mirror just by buying the parts and putting them on the vehicle. Not a DIY job, definitely would recommend having it done at the dealer, but it does retain the power folding capability of the mirror, the extension of the mirror as well, the turn signal indicators, blind spot monitoring, the 360-degree camera, and the floodlight all operate with the purchase of the mirrors, with the harnesses, with the additional switches, and so on and so forth. If you guys like this mod, please hit thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for future Tundra content.